You remember that?
I'm not being into that. That made me more frustrated.
I remember. You remember me, don't you?
Yeah, you're very dumb. You're being very dumb.
I'm an anarcho-capitalist, buddy. Wait, hold on. How do
Here,
I...
Cincinnati, Minnesota's. Let's see, 2 cities crackdown. Small population claim. Posting instructions in my government have, if anything. Okay, so Cato Institute, for instance, set off considerable demand acts by posting a chart showing that Somali-born immigrants have anything of slightly lower incarceration rates than native-born among those aged 18 to 54.
Look, now you're kind of shifting the goalpost. You said incarceration
No, I'm reading from
rates.
your own article, bro. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Can I read from your own article?
Yeah, of course.
Would you like me to? Okay, got it. So we're reading.
Yeah, you said incarceration rates, right? That's a little different, right? That's not fraud.
You get incarcerated.
You brought up fraud originally.
I'm reading from your own article. This is the one you said.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that, right? And I had said, and you had said incarceration, right? And we were talking about fraud originally. So you're trying to shift the goalpost, and I'm catching you on it.
Wait, so me bringing up your own article and reading it in the chat is shifting the goalpost?
I mean, the way that you're trying to frame it, yes.
But oh my gosh, holy shit! On context. You're actually so dumb. No.
It depends on context.
This is beyond dishonest. Hey guys, you bring up my own source and reading it back to me is changing the goalpost.
Yeah, in certain context and framing it in a certain way.
I need to be nicer.
Have you ever heard of context clues? Have you ever heard of like emotional rhetoric?
I keep forgetting that you're like a child. Okay, that's my mistake. I'm sorry, little bro. Okay, sorry, little guy.
You're not even that old. You look 12.
I'll try to be nicer to you. Okay. So when somebody when you bring up a source and somebody reads that source to you, right?
Yeah.
Right, when somebody uses a source to you, because they're trying to figure out what is your source exactly saying, and is the source the same thing that it's claiming, right?
Right, yeah, but you're trying to use that as
that is not changing the goalpost. I read the first fucking paragraph of your article. That's the first paragraph.
Mm-hmm. Right, but you had said originally the fraud thing, right? But the way that you had read it and the way that you picked that out originally was...
I started reading from the top and I went down.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah,
I don't know what to say to you. Am I allowed to do that?
Look, this is useless. Can we get back to the
No, this is not useless. You just did the most, like, a super slimy debate tactic where I started reading your own source to you, and then you tried to say I was shifting the goalpost, and you think I'm just going to ignore that.
Because there's such thing as rhetoric.
No, that's straight.
You're acting as if there's no such thing as rhetoric.
No, Yes, so you're saying you're using rhetoric and being dishonest. I agree.
No, yeah, that's it. Okay, first of all, that's ad hominem,
that's fine.
Right?
That's fine.
That's the first.
There's no ad hominem there.
That's projection and ad hominem.
There's no ad hominem there. You're being dishonest.
Okay, maybe not ad hominem, but it's absolutely projection.
That's just a descriptive fact.
I'd accused you, and then you immediately just shifted onto me, so I have to be defensive now, right? That's kind of dishonest.
Yeah.
Instead of actually defending yourself, it's called to quote a logical fallacy, to be more exact. What you just used.
No, I'm not. No, it isn't. Tuco Kuisman saying that. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's
absolutely true.
That's not true. Kuko Kuisman, you say no. Tuco Kuisman, somebody makes a proposition. You point out that the said proposition like contradicts some other belief that you know that they have, and say because it contradicts that belief, therefore the proposition that they gave is wrong. That's not what I did. I just called you.
You're comparing.
That's the only thing. The only thing I said was dishonest for you to say that.
You said it was incarceration rates. Many of the people that were defrauding were not getting.
That's what the article was talking about. The source that you gave me. I was just reading it. I never made that claim. The source you cited me said that.
Okay, yeah, but you would use it rhetorically. Anyway, can we get back to the actual?
And just wait, I just want to be clear. Can you? Because I could be in a wrong. Just give me the name of the article. What is it called?
Which one?
The article that you gave me. Because I'm on City Journal.
You're on it right now.
I'm pretty sure I'm reading the right article. They have multiple articles on Somalis.
You're reading the correct article.
I'm reading correct. I want to be clear. So just because I'm going to scroll up. This is the correct article right here.
Wait, yes, small immigrants commit more crime than native. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was looking for fraud originally, but I'm on melatonin, so I'm a little loopy. But, yeah.
So the reason you said that, right, is because I asked for fraud. You then criticized me for pretending Goldbust was fraud, right? When the own article that you cited me was only talking about crime.
Yeah.
Oh, so the same disingenuous debate tactic you were accusing me of, which I never did, you just did.
Yeah, because I had the
You're
intention of
such a
doing
bad
fraud.
debater. Oh my
No,
god.
it was
This is
more
like
so to do
C
with the
tier.
fact
You're
that
like
I'm on melatonin,
this
right?
is
I'm
like a
on
C tier,
melatonin
bro.
right
This is no. This is F tier. Okay, we're at negative F tier currently. Oh
now.
no.
Right. Yeah, we just wanna
Unironically,
banter and instead of actually debating. And I made an honest mistake, right? And I'm on melatonin, but still, it doesn't change
no,
the
you were
fact that you were
you didn't make an honest mistake because
rhetorically changing.
you were dishonest you were dishonest 2 seconds ago, right? And then you just happened to make a mistake. This is probably just another dishonest tactic. Okay,
Mhm.
you lost your charitability.
Nah,
If
it
you
wasn't
surely
much
had
of
crime
that.
rates
I
showing
was being dishonest,
there have been
right?
extraordinary emergence. What's in the where in Minneapolis? There's no use to explicitly measuring crime rates by nationality or country of birth. The nation's major crime data sets don't coordinate immigration status. Instead, the figures that Northwest and other site are related to questions that came from ACS, a general population bureau here. Public data,
Okay, first of all,
whether
let me go get a statistic for you about actual fraud, right? Because
why is it
that mistake.
considered to here.
Can we get back to the actual debate if whether they
I'm reading your
assimilate or not?
article
Or
that you cited me. This is part of a debate. I'm gonna verify the shit you say, unless you're mad about it.
I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, can we get back to the
Yeah.
actual argument? Because like, you already
To
made your
this,
point, right? I made a mistake in which statistic you wanted me to bring you, but
reduce distortion by limiting samples to males 18 to 29 for whom residence in institution proxy from criminal involvement and make a closer apple-to-apple comparison by comparing smart students with a subset of Somalis who arrived in the U.S. when they were no older than 15. Why would you do that? This makes no sense. The people who are here who commit fraud are mostly U.S. citizens. They probably bet most of them
right, because a majority of the people in the United States are U.S. citizens. That's like that's pretty dishonest way to use statistics.
most of the Somalis were U.S. citizens. Yeah, either
Right,
naturalized
yeah,
or
but they're not
naturally born.
necessarily native ones. They're second generation Americans.
That's
But
native.
even then, if you want to use like, oh, since a majority of them are U.S. citizens that commit fraud, yeah,
Okay,
it's proportionate.
I'm looking
There's
at
such
this
thing
right
as
here.
proportionality.
So this is what your data does, right? They took a database, they arbitrarily restricted it to ages 18 to 29, and then they even
that's actually pretty fucked up.
And then they even more arbitrarily restricted it to people no older than 15 when they came here, right? And then they were able to get this. Of course, because when people are younger, they're more likely to commit crime, and then people are less likely to assimilate. So they might make higher rates. Yes,
and even then,
when Cato looked at wait, as they said at the start, when Cato here looked at the whole sample size of all Somalis that the ACS took, they committed slightly less crime. So this
right.
So the source that you're doing.
I mean, look, I had come to like the wrong statistic, right? Yes.
Okay.
So let me just go get another.
Do you want it? You can give me another one? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll defend this one a little bit. Right. Yeah. So even when they're younger and they're disproportionately committing fraud or doing crimes, that is kind of a negative view on the Somalians. That's a rightful negative view on the Somalians. Wouldn't you think?
No.
No. Even when they're disproportionately committing crimes, even at a younger age.
No, that's not a view. That's not a criticism of Somalians. No, because a criticism of Somalians would say everybody who's like has some origin in like Somali nationality, let's say up to third generation. And
well, this is just kind of like a sign of
that would be a negative view of Somalians. This
is like a lack of intelligence.
This is a negative.
Lack of intelligence.
This is not negative. This is not lack of intelligence. No, this is just what the data is saying.
There's such thing as called abstract ideas, right? Like I don't think that every single individual that's Somali is going to commit fraud, right?
Okay,
but it is disproportionately so that they do commit fraud.
They don't. That's not
true. They do.
No.
I mean, when you just looked at it, you said 18 to 29.
Okay.
They were committing
when you say Somalians, what people think in their head? Oh, when I think Somalians, I think of people of Somali national origin who are between the ages of 18 to 29 and who are also came into the country when they were no less than 15 years old. Is that what people think, or do you just think people from Somalia up to like probably third generation?
I know, but if that's
it's a second definition, right? So I am correct.
No. Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish instead of just interrupting me?
Go ahead, finish.
Right. Yeah. So what I was gonna say is when you use like statistics like that, usually they follow into other statistic ranges, right? If people were to think logically, they think, okay, in this specific group, that's probably going to track. Even when you see things like Nick Shirley, who had gone to the Somali daycares, and they were all above the age of 20.
Yeah, this is just rhetoric.
Most likely, right? They were all committing fraud too. It's not
You're not saying
necessarily something
anything.
that's
You're not
based
saying
in
any. You're not saying it.
statistics.
You're not saying anything. You're not saying anything. When you say Somalians, when somebody says Italians, they're not saying, "Oh, Italians." Oh, yes, obviously, people who are
They're in
18
the
to
mafia.
29
I don't trust those.
who came here who were less than 15 when they did. Nobody thinks that. They think, "Oh, anybody of any age who was of Italian origin." Probably up to like ninth generation at this point, right? That's not what people think when they think like Somalians, Italians, right? They don't think of that. They think of
Right, yeah.
so this is why. So this is why when you say, "Oh, is this not okay to say?" Is it not okay to say, "Oh, Somalians do commit crime"? Because if we like completely narrow out the specific things that we're looking at, were you able to get this? No, it's not fair. It's not.
Yeah, so I think that people making a misconception of what you mean by Somalis is not a good representation of my views altogether. Because you have to understand
That's not a
certain
misrepresentation.
context,
That's just
right?
what it means.
I'm not
Nobody
putting it in.
uses
No, no, no.
Somalians like that.
Can you let me finish? Because I just gave you like 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Go ahead.
Right. So what I mean by that is you have to understand it's an abstract idea, right? I'm not saying that every single individual of Somali origin will commit fraud, but undeniably it's disproportionate, and if we allow more of them into the country, we will receive more fraud.
That's not true.
That's what statistics show.
Oh.
We need to limit immigration and make sure that we have fewer.
Well, yeah,
Somalis.
wait, okay, okay. Let's go over one thing. If you increase any population, there's gonna be more crime.
Of course, right? Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
it's gonna be
okay,
disproportionately.
Nobody cares about
so.
that's
I'm not in
true
favor
either.
of immigration
Wait,
altogether. That's why. That's part of why I don't want immigration.
That's not true. That's just not true at all. Okay, so once again, the
It is
statistics.
true. I mean, once you have a higher population, you have more risk.
The statistic. Okay, first of all, I just want to be clear. The average age of an immigrant is like 34 years old, right? So the average age of somebody who comes over here is literally outside of range that they're talking about. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two. To be clear, it's just like this whole thing of, oh, when they come in, they're to bring more crime, and I think I already explained when I asked you a question. Of course, any population moving to another is just going to increase crime. It's just not an argument.
Well, I mean, with any population, with Italians, with white people, I don't want them here. I don't want more immigrants because
Why?
when you increase populations, you get more crime. But
Wait,
it's
do you think
disproportionately so with Somalis.
Okay. Oh, that's not true. That's not what your data said.
Okay, yeah, I mean, whatever. You want me to go find a different one? You can
yes,
find
your
a
data
billion.
Didn't say when Somalis come here, they disproportionately increase crime. It said if we take a super narrow scope of the data and pick and choose between certain ages,
how about let's imagine that
certain people came here, then we get
when you have multiple YouTubers going to Minneapolis and they're seeing like daycare centers, like 23 of them at the same location, registered to a Somali name. You know, and it's like this repeating trend that you notice that they're all Somalian. You know, maybe that's something that you should pick up on.
No, that's not something. Everybody's going to this. Really? So, okay, when a huge fraud case is broken,
yeah, you should pick up.
That involves 93 people, right? And everybody goes to the same place where that fraud occurred and looks and says, "Oh my gosh, guys, the place the government said that fraud is going on, and 5 different YouTubers say that." Doesn't mean that all Somalis can.
No, but it wasn't just that the state said that there was fraud going on. The state was the one paying for it. The state was the one protecting it. No, you're misrepresenting my argument.
Under the Biden administration, Tim Walz,
undeniable proof.
Literally
okay, first of all,
did you?
It wasn't just him going up to the place and saying there's fraud here. He would go to those places, ask the people who were supposedly working there, saying, "Have you, what are you doing here?" They would not answer. He said, "Can I enroll my child here?" They wouldn't answer, right? Then he asked people that live near the place, and they said, "I never seen a kid here." And you want to say that they're not defrauding? You're fucking ridiculous.
I never said
you're
they weren't
fucking
so
stupid.
Nice straw man there.
Stupid.
That's not the point I made. I never said they weren't, right? I never said they weren't doing fraud. Absolutely, there's fraud going on.
Then what were you implying?
The thing I was saying is that when the government says, "Hey, there's fraud that's happening here," when the federal government says that, does investigations, and people go to the area where there's confirmed fraud being happened and look and say, "Oh my gosh, there's fraud in the area. The government said there's fraud going on." Of course that's going to happen. And it happens to be of Somali nationality. And I'm not going to take, this is even an over-exaggeration. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take 93 people from one specific, actually, I'm going in, it's actually 92 people from one specific nationality and generalize that to a population. I wouldn't do that for white people. I wouldn't do that for black people. I wouldn't do it for Italians. I wouldn't do it for fucking Albanians. I wouldn't do it for any group because it's disingenuous and because you can never take 0.035% of a population and generalize their actions to the entire population.
What percentage of white people or black people commit fraud using daycare centers?
I don't know. What is
It's
it?
going to be less
I
than
don't
35%, right?
know.
So if we were to bring
You
in
don't, you don't
100,
even know that.
100
Wait,
more
do you have any
Somali
data
immigrants,
saying that?
you had just said it was 35%.
That's out of
You're a
yes, out of the
terrible
entire
fucking
out of the
debater.
entire
You
population.
were god awful.
Are you serious? Out of the
Yeah,
entire
35 of
population.
an entire population.
Yes,
That's
and you
enough
asked me
to say that they come from
no,
a
not
disingenuous
35%,
culture
not
that's
30,
submissive.
not 35%, 0.035%. So that's if you want to
Even then, that's a huge.
So that's gonna be 0.03.
Huge number.
That's 93 people.
Yeah, sure. I would even say then, well, how many white people commit fraud?
I don't know the percent.
Proportionately. Oh yeah, right. Can you look it up for me?
No, I don't care.
And we'll compare, right? If we were to bring in 100 more white people versus 100 more Somalians, which one would be more likely to see fraud?
This argument implies that like they're gonna commit the same amount of fraud over and over again.
This argument. No, it's called proportionality, right? I'm not trying to represent every individual. It's noticing trends and saying if we were to bring in more and more of these people, we're more likely to commit
This isn't
fraud.
a trend.
That's
this is like
selective restricted immigration from private.
This is not a wait. Can you show me like the trend in like over show me like a trend over like the past 2 decades of Somalians committing more fraud? Can you show me that trend?
Yeah, so they dumped a whole bunch of Somali immigrants or refugees into Minneapolis, and what do you see? There's 23 daycare centers at one location. Then you see there are like all of these little daycare centers at like every single strip
That's not
mall.
a trend.
Right, and they're all illegitimate.
That's not a trend. That's
a trend.
That's not a trend. That's you doing your like dumb pattern recognition shit and being like, oh my god, they're for a trend.
Pattern recognition is extremely real. That's what a trend is.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
You are so fucking disingenuous.
Pattern recognition is dumb. Wait. Pattern recognition is pattern recognition.
What do you think pattern recognition?
Pattern recognition is regarded because any person could have any individual experience with like. So if I'm somebody who was for some reason white people disproportionately committed crime against me, but we go and look at the data. Actually, on average, black people are more likely to commit crime. My personal experience of pattern recognition would be contradicting data. That's why we don't just go off of our intuitions and common sense. We actually look at data.
Well, yeah,
so can you show me?
I'm
so what I'm asking, wait,
can
you show me
intuition?
Okay, show me statistical trend. Let's just say in the last 2 decades, the Somalians have committed more crime, unfortunately.
All right, you want me to get you a trend, a statistical trend?
Go ahead, just show me that. Go ahead, show me that. Can you show me that? The answer is no. Oh, they leave? Oh no. Okay. I think we need to send host of Somalians.
I'm still here.
I know. If I was really going rhetoric max right now, I'd just be referencing back like how he's been like super slimy this entire debate. Like it's pretty obvious he didn't even read his own article. What's up, Dot?
Hey, what are you debating?
Somalian shit. I'm debating.
Oh my god.
I'm debating an 18-year-old wink wink. Somalian shit.
I'm so over that topic.
It's not even like okay.
What?
Huh? No, I think I know we're over it, but we need to go on it because it's just like random xenophobia for no reason. It's just.
Oh my god.
Like
Not for no reason.
Okay, the fact I've been so nice to this dude. He's an ANCAP and he's like talking about assimilation right now. Like, bro, get your ideology together. You're in shambles.
Wait, can I protect anarcho-capitalism real quick? Because you clearly have not read Democracy: The God That Failed.
I don't know your.
It's like our version. It's like our version of the manifesto.
I'm sorry. I don't know your specific version of like anarcho-capitalism. If you're one of those like stupid like Liquid Zulu followers who believe in like this weird objects. Yeah. No, they believe so like, objectivism and like what murder or like natural rights, whatever. I don't know like.
Yeah, so borders are essentially just private property, right? And there's such thing as a right to exclude off someone's property. That's discriminatory immigration policy.
Private property.
Yeah, absolutely. What else would a border be?
A border is is government property.
Well, yeah, sure. It doesn't change the fact that it's property, right? And it
Private
assumes
property.
exclusivity.
What gives justification to property? Like, how do you justify
What gives
it?
justification? I mean, like morality. One, I think you have an intrinsic right to be able to own your own property.
Okay, I'm asking, like, what gives somebody justification to have something? Is it usually like, do you go off a homesteading? I mean, has a homestead something?
Wait, can you say that again?
Do you go off a homesteading for like owning property?
Shit, I forgot the definition of homesteading. I
Can
don't
I
believe
just
so.
go?
No.
Can I? Okay, so can I just go up to a random patch of deserted desert that's unowned, put down a fucking flag and say I own this entire desert?
I mean, yeah, if it's not owned by anyone yet, then yeah.
Depends. You know, technically, I can go into an abandoned house
Wow.
and I have to become familiar amongst the
Well, I mean,
neighborhood.
yeah,
as
if
this
there's
is
no
my
owner,
property.
if there's no owner of that such
No, even if
property,
there
then-
is an owner, but if they don't attend to the land and I become familiar with the property and stay there for over 7 years, I have hostily taken over the property,
yeah,
especially if I
even then,
become
I don't think
known.
that's respect for private property. So I would not.
No,
accept
it
that.
does. It works. Look it up. Hostile takeover. Wait, no, it's not hostile takeover. It's another word. It's
Yeah, hostile
called.
takeover is a business.
No, I know.
term.
I'm thinking of something else. I'm sorry. Property is escaping me.
under what circumstance, like government property.
It's called.
Okay, I take issue in this in two levels. One, government property.
Well, let me
is-
look it up.
Sorry, government property isn't private property. First of all, I know you're against taxes because you're like an ANCAP. I don't think you would
Yeah.
call like property like a property right that's enforced through like the the violation of, I don't know, you'd probably say like rights.
Your non-aggression principle.
Non-aggression in principle is like a valid
Yeah.
justification of property, which necessarily
Yeah,
or what
I
goes
don't
on.
think we should have a system that's based off theft and coercion.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
see
take
how.
it.
So if somebody
Yeah, but also,
obtains,
like,
Adverse
if somebody
possession.
if somebody obtains property via like force and coercion, is that a valid acquisition of property?
Absolutely not. That's a violation of the
Okay,
non-aggression
that's what-
principle, and
okay,
not
that's what-
not a
that's what
valid
governments do.
acquisition. Yeah, and I'm not in favor of a government.
Okay,
What
so
the
it's not
fuck is
private. So it's not private property. Cool.
No, I'm not in favor of stopping private property.
Okay.
Then what is that argument based on?
Government borders aren't private property because the acquisition of that property was through coercion.
Wait, what I was
Yeah,
saying
sure.
before
I
is
would
called
not necessarily
avarice.
consider
So why
that
do you even
legitimate,
care?
right? Okay, you're making like a weird connection here because I'm not in favor of state-owned property. I'm in favor of individual-based private property. That's not a violation of
You have,
non-aggression.
like, you don't have any ideology. That's it.
I do have an ideology.
No,
I don't know what you're trying to prove
No,
here
you're
because you're
15.
like connecting the dots.
No. You're 18 years old. Wink, wink, and you haven't thought through like any of this shit at all. And you're
I absolutely
there's a
have.
giant
Wait,
gaping hole.
It's
You're
called
connecting- you're
adverse
connecting-
possession. I'm not stupid. What I was saying before is adverse possession. You can do it on private property. I swear to God.
I mean, yeah, I've never
Look
heard of
into-
adverse possession, but
Look into it. If I remain on a private property for 7 years and I become known amongst the community that I live in this property,
this
even if
sounds
it's
like a
private,
legal. This sounds like a legal term. I can't lie, but
it is a legal term or
yeah,
legal
I don't,
term.
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
about
Anyways,
it.
did you get those statistics from me, by the way?
Bullshit.
Because I did not forget.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God. You guys don't like legal terms?
No, he's an ANCAP. No, don't use legal terms. It's morality.
It's more field bro.
No, he's all vibes, right? Like he's
What does that mean?
When I say he's all vibes,
Oh.
he's an ANCAP probably because like he has some like somebody said, oh yeah, like freedom is good once, and he's like, oh, that's so base. What happens if we just like infinite freedom all the time?
That's so
Um,
based.
Yeah, that's how everybody gets into it. And then, but he's also like probably raised in like conservative households, so he has this probably like some xenophobic views towards immigrants. So he somehow has to work that into his like ANCAP worldview, and it just doesn't, because he can't possibly say that like how the government acquired property is like a just acquisition
Yeah.
of it.
Okay.
therefore
Well,
it's not
first,
private property.
the acquisition of property is not, based in if it's moral or not. Or I know it is based in if it's moral or not. Because if it's not a moral acquisition of property, then I would not consider that valid private property. What it means to have private property is that it cannot be stolen from you through theft and coercion. When the state does that, that is an abolition to private property, meaning that government borders are against private property in themselves because they don't allow.
Yes.
people
so
to
I don't know
own
why
gold
you. I don't
property
know why
and
you
border.
care about immigration.
Why do I care about immigration? Because it's based off individual private property.
It just isn't.
It is. You have a right to exclude as an individual.
okay, but it's not.
You're using legal
It's not.
terms
It's
wrong.
not. It's not in. Okay, these aren't legal terms.
I'm
We're
using
talking
more.
these
Yes,
I'm
it
are-
is.
using.
Right to
No, no, no.
exclude is legal
Wait,
terms.
give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Dot. You need to take your legal, bro. Okay, take your legal
a
mind,
moral
throw it in the
term,
trash. Take
politically
out your
moral.
philosophy cap. Okay.
I don't like my philosophy
I
cap.
know. We need to take it out for a second here to debate
Okay.
18-year-old Wink Wink on his ANCAP views. Okay. You're saying that it's okay for the government to exclude immigrants from the U.S. because it's okay for people
private
to exclude people
not the government.
to exclude private property. The government and its borders aren't private property, therefore it has no right to exclude these people.
Yeah, sure. I don't believe in state enforced borders.
Okay, so why do you care about immigration?
What?
Why do I care about immigration? Because my
Apparently.
view is that it should be enforced privately. It doesn't have to come through a state to be
Okay,
enforced.
but currently you shouldn't care because you should think that's
Yeah,
an
to be
unjust
honest,
acquisition
I
of
think I might be on more of the side of the liberals on this one when it comes to today. But
By the
That's
way, by
insane.
the way, he changed his argument. He totally was saying that government property was private before, but I'll accept it. We'll keep going. Here.
no, I actually,
Oh, he doesn't
my
like
original
when
argument was that it
government
wasn't.
So a corporation
No.
should have.
I
Like, what
said
do
that it
you
was
mean?
property. I never said that it was privately
You
owned.
said it was property and they had a right to exclude other people from
Yeah.
it, which means that under your definition it'd be private property. But now you're
Yeah,
saying
if the
it's
state were
actually
to not act with theft and coercion upon someone.
Oh my god, you're so dude.
If the state were to buy that property,
you're tier
then
one
sure.
debater. Like, come on.
No,
And
you're really
and you don't have
bad.
the data, and you don't have the data for me either, because it doesn't exist. Or
I
you're
really
just
got my
not smart enough to
philosophy
actually
cap
find
on.
it. Here's the reality, and I'm gonna ramble here. We can look at the PNAS studies. We can look at the Cato's we can look at Cato studies and analysis of data. On average, literally all immigrants of all groups commit less crime as a per capita than the average American. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah. Even like legal immigrants, like undocumented, actually commit less.
Yes, legal immigrants actually commit more.
Actually, yeah, it's insane. There's a status for your native born versus legal immigrants versus undocumented. Undocumented is like 0.5. I think it's like 0.75 for legal, and then one something. It's like something crazy, yeah.
Yes, and trying to take 92 people out of entire population and generalize it to them is super disingenuous. And
It's
something
super
in very illogical. When we're talking about systemic issues, we need to look at systemic data. And I can tell you, right, and this is why on average for any poll, a good poll sample size for any study is 1,000. Anything under that, not good, right? We're not even hitting a tenth of that with this one. Not even a tenth. And by the way, out of those 92 people, I think a good chunk of them were actually white. So
Yeah, so out of a fraud case, right, in Minnesota, 85% of people that committed fraud were Somali.
look how he does. Like, this is a good rhetorical trick here. So when I address the broader systemic issue of immigrants and Somalis don't disproportionately don't disproportionately commit crime if we look at the data, then he goes, well, in one specific instance of crime, Somalis were disproportionately represented. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, of course. Oh my gosh, did you know that for this one individual murdered by a white person, that it was 100% committed by whites? Who would have thought, right?
Well, I mean,
Like,
look,
that's like-
there was more
that's
than one.
essentially your
That's kind of a
argument.
false. That's a
I'm looking at
false
the entire
equivalency.
picture. That's not
That's
a false equivalency.
Well, when you're looking at a fraud case of 70 people and then 85% of those are Somali, that's enough to notice trends. That's enough
What?
for an
That's
entire.
not a trend.
That's for how many fraud
Are
cases?
you fucking
There are
kidding
not
me?
that many.
Oh my god, you don't even know what a
Yes.
trend is. A trend is something that happens over
Bro,
time. That's
Can I
look at a
let-
trend
can you let
over
me
Are you
time.
kidding me? Among 75 people in a fraud case, oh my god, you're stupid.
Yes, because it's 85%. That's
Of
extremely
70
disproportionate.
people?
That's
Okay,
not a
yeah,
fr-
well, look,
wait,
it's
I
made
would-
up
that's-
of-
so the
okay.
That's
quality
not
Somali's make up a lot.
representation.
Okay,
Can
wait.
you let me finish?
Let
Can you let me
finish?
Yes.
Right.
Somalis make up 1% of the population of Minnesota, right? And when you see a fraud case of fraud for like an entire year within Minnesota, and 85% of that are Somalis, that is enough to conclude that for an entire state, they disproportionately prove that, right? They could be a very small percentage of their own population, but when you see for our own national crime rates that a certain population are spiking the amount of fraud that there is, that's enough to exclude these people from a private property based and Capistan country.
We don't have a private. Okay, stop that.
I know, we need to make America
So we don't have a private property base and capacity and thing. Okay, I'm currently buying a recreational nuke. It is pointing straight. I'm kidding. But
that would be a violation of
but
the
to-
non-aggression
But
principle.
no, I'm not aggressing upon you. It's just pointing in your general direction. Got it? Wink, wink.
That's coercion.
That's not coercion. I'm not coercing anything. And did I tell you to do
The
anything?
threat.
Did I tell you
The
to
threat.
How am I threatening?
If
Did I tell you to do anything?
you're pointing a fucking nuke at my house.
Yeah, for fun, for funsies, bro. It's no threat.
Okay. Well, I mean that's okay then.
For funsies, okay. Sorry.
Make
The problem
cocaine
here is when we
machine
look at
guns
any
legal.
individual crime, it'd be disingenuous of us to say this individual crime occurred out of this crime. This amount of the crime was done by this group. Therefore, there's more. Yeah, you're gonna do because you don't have an argument. So therefore, this population is more likely, or is more likely to commit a certain crime. That's not how data works.
Yeah.
If we're looking at it's a certain population and more likely to commit this amount of crime, we look at the total population and the total amount of crime. There's one instance of that happening, right? And 2 cases definitely is not, right? So that's a problem. So that's when I say, oh, okay. Well, if we look at if one white guy goes and murders somebody, and I say 100% of 100% of this crime is done by white people, no shit. That's what we're doing. We're looking at like one instance of like mass of this crime happening, and then trying to generalize to the population when we literally need to look at every instance that crime occurred, and then we can use it as a percentage of the population.
Right, yeah, but Somalis have already created their community within Minnesota, right? And when they start committing crime within a state that they've already inhabited and integrated kind of within this new culture that's destroyed American culture within Minnesota, then I think that should prove as a warning sign for a plethora of other states, because a majority of Somalis in the United States are within that state.
Wait, Scratch, I just looked this up.
That's okay. It's not a majority. It's a simple majority, but yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Oh my god, I just looked it up. 70% of all fraud cases are committed by white men.
What do you mean? That because of 70% of
we should deport 70%. Wait, I'm not.
They're destroying our beautiful.
They're destroying American
culture. I agree.
Well, yeah,
oh my god,
because they're 70% of the actual percent. They're 70% of the actual population.
We need to deport 70% of white men. Oh my god, our culture is getting ruined by these white males that are committing fraud. Oh my god, we should deport you.
Right? First of all, you have to understand there's proportionality. That's proportionate. That's okay, right? Because it's proportional.
Oh, that's okay.
No, not when they defraud people.
Wait.
Isn't
your argument that isn't your argument that 80? What was it, like 83%?
80 in a specific instance, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
When it goes for majority of fraud, nobody's talking about
nobody's talking about specific instances. You're talking about a broader trend. No shit.
Right. Yeah. But when we allow, because there are much fewer Somalis, but if we were to allow more of them into the country, right? Because I was looking at just Minnesota.
I know, like 1%.
When we do that for all 50 states, then we'll see about 85% of fraud cases committed by Somalis. She was comparing national data to state data. That is illogical. That is dishonest.
Wait. 85% of fraud is committed by Somalis in that specific instance in Minnesota? Is that what you're saying?
In Minnesota, and that's where all the Somalis are right now.
Only in that instance. That's not true, okay? I think the population of Somalis is like 80,000, and the total population in the U.S. is like over nearly 300,000. So the majority, there's a simple majority, would be the actual.
Yes, I guess you could say it's not like 150,000.
Statistical terms, right, little bro? Okay, so majority are in Minneapolis, number one, right? And I'm gonna repeat this point the last time, and hopefully you can understand. We can't look at individual instances of crime. We need to look at the total population, and you haven't given me evidence that Somalis disproportionately commit fraud compared to population.
Within the state of Minnesota, they committed 85% of fraud. So if we were to,
you said within the case.
Yes.
The case of Minnesota, the state of Minnesota.
In the 93, yes, not in all instances of fraud in Minnesota, dumbass. Holy shit. You don't understand
for when they were in Minnesota, right?
Okay.
They committed 85% of the fraud.
I'm gonna let you move off this point because you're losing terribly here, and you're having.
I'm actually not losing. You keep interrupting
really
me.
Bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually winning this debate. You're just interrupting me.
I don't know how you're thinking that though.
Wait, were you winning? Were you winning the debate when you cited me an article and you claimed that article was talking about fraud or was talking about overall amount of crime, or when I cited your article and started reading your own source and then you said I was being disingenuous and shifting the and shifting the goalposts, or when you
Oh no,
move the
I was
goalposts
actually
again and were
losing at that
contradicting your own ideology? Was those all the points where you went into debate?
Oh no, actually,
Were you
with
winning the debate when you didn't understand
no.
when you
Can
don't
you let me
understand
finish?
statistics?
Can you let me finish?
Oh,
Because this is
okay.
disingenuous of you.
Just tell me which point you're winning there.
Okay, yeah. So to be honest, I was losing when I was when I had that melatonin mistake, right? But when I explained to you anarcho-capitalism, I was whooping your ass. On this specific case, I've been whooping your ass because you don't understand abstract ideas, and it's really hard to debate somebody that doesn't understand abstract
No, I
ideas.
don't. Wait, we're not talking about abstract ideas. We're just talking about very simple statistics. We're talking about, okay, per capita, do Somalis commit more crime compared to the total population, right? Commit more crime in the U.S. Or per capita, do Somalis commit more crime or fraud in the U.S.? You haven't shown me any of those statistics. What you've said in this one, not the total amount of fraud as a percentage in Minnesota, but specific to this one instance of fraud in Minnesota that Somalis were disproportionately represented. That's the only thing you have.
Within Minnesota.
That's the only thing you have.
It was not. It was fraud within Minnesota, which is where, as you said, a simple majority of Somalis are. Right. If we were to bring that same population, that same percentage into other states, then we'd see that they would also commit 85% of the murder. That's proportionality.
What do you think simple majority means?
Simple majority, it's not necessarily like a 51% majority. It's just like if you're to split it up between multiple things, it would be like that biggest number.
Okay. So you're saying because we see this happen disproportionately in Minnesota, we can then generalize this to every single other state, correct?
Yeah, if we were to bring that same population.
That's not true. That's not true.
How is it not true?
You can't
it's logical consistency. It's logical consistency.
That's not logical consistency. I can't. This is like saying one white person likes chocolate ice cream. Therefore, all white people I meet like chocolate ice cream.
Well, one thing about that is you're only using.
That's literally what you're doing.
No, that's not what I'm saying though, because I'm using.
Because this specific population of people here in this one very narrow instance committed disproportionate crime. Therefore, every single other population of this particular group must do it. No.
Well, you're comparing collective subjectivity to individual subjectivity. When you see such an integrated community do something like this, that's like this huge fraud scandal, you'd expect to see that in other states because it's collective subjectivity, right? They are a close-knit community. They would probably do it in other states too. But for the fact that one individual likes... What's my source for that? It's called common logic.
Yeah, okay. So wait, okay, no, we're going to stop this. What is logic?
What is logic? It's the opposite of emotion. It's coming to...
What is logic?
It's coming to a conclusion.
What are the 3 laws of logic?
What are the 3 laws of logic? To be honest, I don't know.
Okay, 3 laws of logic are law of non-contradiction, law of excluded middle, and law of identity.
Yeah, right. And I think I followed that. I followed that pretty
well.
So,
just to be clear here, I don't want you talking about logic when you don't know what it is. Take those terms out of your vocabulary, put them on the desk, okay? Take some more simple...
We have to understand. I can understand the term without being able to...
Fine. Just take your simple conservative buzzwords and say common sense, and I'll ask you for a definition, and you won't know. So when you say logic, you don't know that. What you're saying is that it's intuitive to me, right? Not logical. It's intuitive to me that if one person does this, or one small part of a very selective population does something, then of course, all of that population must do something. That's not how we work in statistics. We need to make comparisons between whole populations if we're trying to say, as a whole, one population commits disproportionate amounts of something. That's how statistics works.
Yeah.
Otherwise, give me a
sec.
Otherwise, right, we would have instances where we would say, oh, well, if we look at specifically inner city white people, they commit so much more fraud. Therefore, every single white person, and be like, okay, wait a minute.
No, inner city white people. That's a false equivalency logical fallacy. Because the second thing is what I would do.
That's not a false.
No. Can you let me finish?
Okay.
Can you let me finish? Because what I was gonna say was that with Minnesota, right? That's an example to where they brought in a lot of Somali people, right? That's not just one small instance. That is what Somalians have become within America. And if we were to represent that with the entire
stop doing this. You're begging the question every single time. Okay, you're asserting your claim and you haven't proven it true. Okay, and we're arguing if you've even proven that this is something that's happening, and you're just asserting it. So stop repeating yourself over and over again.
Okay, yeah, I'll stop. That you're true. That you're right. I did do that. Anyway, my brain is so foggy from this melatonin.
Here.
Hold on. Let me keep going. All right. So where were we again?
So I was talking. I think I was making an analogy. To if we just took inner city white people and we saw that they committed more crime and we generalized that'd be unfair. And I'm saying different environmental factor. There's different environmental factors for different populations, even if they're of the same nationality. So trying to make broad generalizations from that would be disingenuous because there could be some other factor that you're not accounting for that's causing one population to commit more crime. But that would be a very charitable view of your thing. The actual view I should take is that within the population that actually committed this fraud within Minnesota, this 92 people, it would be disingenuous to even generalize that to the Minneapolis.
Well, first of all, I haven't even argued. Is it truly 92 people? Because it was far more than that, I believe.
There's 92 open cases. That's not even the amount of convictions.
Yeah, right. Even then, with the amount of cases that are fraud, and there are 92 of them that are Somali. You know, look, I am doing the same thing over and over
in total.
Well, let me go back to the analogy. Let me trace back to the analogy real quick. Well, you're saying inner city white people. I would say that actually is a fair representation of them, even if, let's say that they were doing 85% of murders or something like that, right? I would make it easy to conclude if I were not white, right? We don't need inner city white people in our country if they were committing 85% of murders in a certain area, because that would lead me to believe that since they're a close knit.
That's not even your argument. Your argument isn't 85% of white people in America commit fraud. It isn't 85% of white people in Minnesota commit fraud. It isn't 85% of people in Minneapolis commit fraud. It's
okay. Yeah, can you tell me what that other factor is?
It's 85% of white people in a specific instance of fraud.
Yes, because that's like the only place that they're in, basically.
Yes. So to generalize to any population, you're gonna need statistics that at least. Well, first of all, you're gonna need samples of 1,000. Number one, right? And number two, you're gonna need statistics for each of these populations individually.
Okay. Yeah. How about let's do this?
You don't have that. You don't have that.
Okay, let me just say this, right? If we were to bring every single Somali population among all 50 states and bring them up to the population of Minnesota, right? It would be logical to conclude, since they're a tight-knit community, that they're probably going to have those factors of fraud, right?
No.
Because what you're doing right now is you're saying, since in one population that doesn't prove the entire broad population.
How do you know that? How do you know the reason that this fraud occurred was because these people were Somali?
How can I prove? I don't necessarily think it was because they're Somali. I think it was for the fact that
that's necessarily what you're saying. You're saying because these people are tight-knit communities and they have something like a cultural thing that led them to commit this fraud that other things are doing.
You're right.
But you don't even have the evidence to do that.
That is what I'm saying.
Somebody listening to this argument and knows how you have like all these claims, right? And this is called the magic table, right?
Because they'd like to bring wealth to their communities.
You have four different claims, right, to back each one. And I go to each one and say, "What's the evidence for that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have that. What's the evidence for that? Oh, I don't have that. What's the evidence for that?
Can you let me respond?
All the legs at the table.
All the legs at the table. For the love of God,
conclusion that we should consider Somalis.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll come to a conclusion if you'd actually.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the evidence is.
Yeah. Can you let me fucking finish? Can you let me finish? Because all you do is just talk, and then you think you're winning the debate. It's not true, right? So, yeah, you're right. It is part of their culture, since I think they don't necessarily have a very fond view of the Americans, and they see it as a legitimate way to bring wealth to their communities.
Get off my live, bro. You just said you didn't know about that. You said you have no evidence for that. Get off my live. Oh my god. What's up, bro? What do you want?
What?
Oh, were you from YouTube?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey. Oh, this phone wasn't working or something there for a second. Yeah. I came over from YouTube. I was asking how to come see you so I could.
I saw that. Yeah. Do you disagree with me?
So, the biggest thing is not even that it's Somalis so much as it's people who aren't even natural born coming over here and committing crimes. That's the problem. Like, I don't even give a shit if they're
That's just
Somali
the
or if
reality
they're
of anything. Yeah.
well,
Just
I mean,
against any crime being committed.
said that it's foreign people who
It's
are.
foreign. Are you
Yeah, I
against
mean,
all
aren't you?
immigration? No.
No, I'm not
It's just a
against all
reality that
immigration. I'm against
I said
illegal
this earlier in the
immigration.
debate. It's a reality that any increase in the population, there's going to be more crime, and so any principled stance on immigration, which allows for some amount of legal migration, is going to have to just accept there's going to be like a certain amount of crime that's going to be allowable coming from like a population.
Listen, I mean, you're right, and there's going to be crime, even people who are naturally born here. That happens. Shit happens all the time.
Unless
What
it's
I'm saying
increasing our
is
crime
that,
rates, I'm not going to really care. So, to be clear, that's my stance.
well, all I'm saying is that, coming over here, whether you're legal or not, you don't need to be stealing, and that's basically what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think people should be stealing. So.
I mean, either way you shake it, it doesn't matter if they're Somali or not. So I don't know why everyone's like up in arms about whether they're Somali or not. It doesn't fucking matter.
Because they're xenophobic.
If you got caught committing a crime, then you need to be punished. And if you're not natural, hold on. If you're not a natural citizen, then you should go back to where you came from because it's bullshit.
It's because they're xenophobic.
No. Has nothing to do with xenophobia.
Yeah, it does.
It's because this isn't.
That's why they care so much about the nationality.
Well, they are. I thought you were trying to say that I was.
No, I'm not saying you obviously just don't like. You obviously just don't like
mean,
immigrants in general. For like.
No, straw man me, dude. Like, what do you mean immigrants in general? I work with Mexicans and I love that they're here. I don't care that they're even here illegally. What I care about is if you do come here illegally and you commit crimes, then that's even more of a reason for you to go back to where you fucking came from, right? If you're not going to assimilate,
those people should. Oh, okay.
You'll go ahead. No, expound on that.
Assimilate. Go ahead. Go with assimilation.
No, expound on what you're about to say. That's cool.
No, I'm interested in the assimilation argument more than what I have to say.
Oh, okay. Well, I was maybe I can build on what you were gonna say, but either way, like I said, my job has a large work. You know what I'm saying? Like body that is South American, right? I have no issue working with them. I learned Spanish and multiple versions of Spanish, which there are. People don't realize that because of them, and I find them to be like they're freaking cool, right? I don't care that they're here illegally as long as they're not causing problems. If you are here illegally causing problems, you need to go back to where you came from. If you're here legally and you're defrauding people or committing fraud, then you need to go back to where you come from. Basically, if you can't come to this country,
I agree.
Then we have nothing to argue about.
If you're here on like
it just seems like a lot of the left want to give all these people a free blanket back.
Huh? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're with me. Okay, well then that's cool.
Stance that if you come here illegally and then you commit a crime that you shouldn't be deported.
Well, it was just a lot got lost in translation when you were talking to the last guy.
Well, the last
almost sounded like you guys were all over the fucking place.
Well, yeah, we kind of were, but the last guy was the last guy was being really disingenuous. He was basically saying in the one.
I mean, and the fact of the matter was. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was basically saying, okay, if we take this one instance of fraud happening in Minneapolis, and we can use that one instance to generalize to the entire Minneapolis population, of Somalis, and then we can use that to generalize the entire Minnesota population of Somalis, and we can use that to generalize the entire nation population of Somalis. I was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I heard that. It's almost like you guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, you can't do that. That's how this works. It'd be really generous.
No, it doesn't work like that, for real. That's why I wanted to call in and say that it seems like that, it was that guy and then the female that was on the line too. I mean, I think it was female.
Well, yeah, that is a third, fourth year law student. So I just had a reminder it's not a legal conversation. It's a
right. Well, it just seemed like that. Like maybe they didn't have a firm grasp on exactly what they were talking about, because it doesn't matter either way. if they're Somali or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were white and you're committing fraud.
That's why I said like they were 18 years old. Wink, wink.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't hear that
I said
part.
that a couple of times.
I didn't
only
hear
reason
that
I'm
part.
saying that is because TikTok would fuck me if they my account if they was knowingly doing something against guidelines, which of course I'm not doing that. I would never do something against guidelines that's bad. We love the TikTok shop.
Right. Yeah, make sure that let it be known. All right. Well, I just wanted to settle this whole race bullshit, or not race, but creed.
I agree. No, I
I mean, you
can. For here,
yeah.
if
Well, and
you're
then
illegally
not even
if
on
you
your
do a
part.
crime, you can get deported. I don't really care.
And should be. Just like if you're a natural born citizen and you commit a crime, you should go to fucking prison. I mean, it's just, that's the way it shakes out.
Yep.
There should be punishment. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I believe that's across the board. And I don't give a fuck if you're Democrat, Republican, or whatever. I'm neither, but that doesn't mean it's neither here nor there in the grand scheme of things.
One instance. When I say one instance, I'm talking about the 92 open cases. That's what I mean by one instance.
Right, I got you.
To be clear.
I mean,
because this is like it's like ultra specific around like the daycares.
Right.
Funds giving out. That's why I said one instance.
Well, it seems like it's a fad that they all picked up on the same thing and kind of ran with it, which is working for right now. But then they all got caught. So that shouldn't demonize a whole people. Just those people who committed said frauds.
It's super unfortunate
that
like okay,
it is, and it's
that
unfortunate
like
that
you admit like okay, it'd be really cringe if you live in society. Every type of crime was committed. People are like, dude, did you see the white person who murdered that poor black dude? Yeah, I saw that white person who did it. Yeah, I was seeing this white person like.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so exactly.
Very, very, very racist. It's like almost inherently xenophobic in itself to me. To like.
I mean, that's how you're referring to it, because it shouldn't be referred to that way. It should be said person violated said person.
Yeah, that's what well, I just like it. To me, it should be like, yeah, fraud is fraud. Fraud is bad. Fraud shouldn't be committed. Exactly. If there is fraud going on, we should prosecute it. If that person happens to be somebody here in like some kind of legal status that like isn't a citizen, then fucking deport them.
Exactly. Easy. Okay, well then I feel you, and I appreciate you having an open mind to that, because I've spoke out about this before, and it seems like I get bashed and called fucking, oh, you're a Republican, you're a fucking Nazi. I'm like, dude, I'm not even Republican. I was like, it's just the way it should be. Right is right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened.
No,
I sincerely apologize for the actions of my fellow leftists.
Well, I'm not even sure that they were leftists. They were just, who knows what they were.
If they were doing that, they're probably leftists.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
That's my generalization. Okay, that's my generalization.
Yeah, I mean, and it would be easy for me to generalize it that way too, but I just don't want to be pointing fingers and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
someone left. I can point fingers at my comrades. Okay.
Your constituents, huh? All right, well. You say comrades, it sounds awful.
Comrades, got a little communist language in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a commie, are you?
No, I'm not communist.
Okay, good, because I hope everyone realizes that that's not the answer either. It's only good on paper.
It's a group, though. You are a bot acknowledging that it's a white source and offended by a large group. You're ignoring that it was a community committing the crime. Was it a community? Was it like when you say community, you're saying like there were individuals in a specific community committing a crime? Yes. Was it because they were in that community is why they're committing the crime? I don't know. Can somebody prove that was the motivation? Like I think I asked that. Yeah, no, I did. I literally asked. No, that's why I dropped him. In fact, because I asked him like, do you have evidence that it was like some community culture that caused him to commit this crime? He said I don't have evidence for it. And then when he realized his argument wouldn't work unless he did, he started like making justifications up on the spot, and I was like it's so obviously disingenuous.
Right. I saw that, and I was
yes,
trying to
connect. Okay, just give me, what's the evidence? Go ahead, link me source. I'm sure these guys pled guilty, so I'm sure that like in the indictments they had to bring up some kind of evidence.
What's this Alan saying about that's all white people? Why did he at me saying that's all white American? What did I say that prompted this? I'd like to know.
That's my generation.
Hey, what up, bro?
What's up?
We generalize it that way too, but I just don't want to be.
Yeah, what's up, Allie? You have an
Okay.
echo, Allie. For what?
Oh, my bad. Hold on. It's an echo. Hold on. Let me fix it.
I hope I'm recording. Yes, I am. Hope the audio sounds decent. YouTube, how's the audio?
Am I still echoing?
No, you're good, dude.
Alright. No, I was just gonna say, bro, the whole point about the Somalians and the $11 million, bro. Amy Bach is a white woman, bro, and she stole $250 million from a foundation that was supposed to go to.
We're agreeing with you.
Right, I'm not talking about you though. He said the people in the comments are saying that since the Somalians stole the $11 million, since the Somalians stole $11 million, that all Somalians should be deported, or that community of Somalians should be deported.
Who said that?
Yeah, I think ignore the comments. The comments
Oh, the comment.
Yeah, that's what I said. The comments.
YouTube chat.
Yeah, okay.
YouTube chat.
Yeah, that's what I was
Kindly-
talking about.
YouTube chat.
Oh yeah, I dropped YouTube when I called in.
Yeah, YouTube chat. I need you guys to go into your bathroom, fill up the tub, okay? Make it nice and soapy, relaxing. Get a toaster from your kitchen and have a nice relaxing spa, okay? Please.
All right, man. That's all I really want to say, bro. I'm not gonna take up you guys' time too much.
Well, I actually think I'm gonna get off too because if you agree with me, then I have nothing to continue ranting to you
okay.
about.
All right, bro.
Are
Keep
you
it
a
up.
liberal, dude?
Allow
Like,
me-
actually, I wonder, who'd you vote for?
Who did I vote for?
Yeah.
I actually voted independent.
I'll convince you someday. We'll convince.
You'll convince me?
Yeah, we'll convince you to the Democratic side, okay?
Oh, I don't know about that.
We'll
there's
get
too
you.
many Dems there's too many Dems that I completely detest. I'm a little too logical.
Wait.
Huh?
If you had to vote Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom, who are you doing?
Oh, I'd have to go with Buttigieg. Gavin Newsom's fucking psycho.
Yes. Holy shit, I knew. Okay. Yes. Okay. Based.
What? All right, why'd you say that? Oh, you like that?
What? Yeah. Fuck. Bro, I love Pete. Okay. Pete's my guy.
Oh, okay, right on. See, then there we go. We have a lot more in common than you would have thought.
Okay, I think he's like 30. He's like the problem. He's behind Gavin Newsom right now. I don't know why people are trying to Newsom. He's like, he's corrupt. He is corrupt. He's done the corrupt actions.
Dude, he's destroyed California.
I don't think he's destroyed California.
No,
I think there's been some bad policies, and I think that there's obvious like corruption that he's done. That's my two biggest criticisms. Just not good. And my other thing is that he's been. I think there's like a lot of propaganda out there on him. He's been like the Democratic person outside of like national politics to attack for the last literally like decades. So Pete is way more, and Pete is literally like squeaky clean. The biggest the biggest controversy Pete had was when he took time off from Secretary of Transportation to go spend time with his newly born twins.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's like he's being a family man, like upholding conservative values over here. Like, oof.
Right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I like you then. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to your channel because I've actually watched you quite a bit.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You'll probably actually hear from me because I like to discredit people who are saying stupid shit. So
I appreciate the
all right,
support.
brother, thank you. I appreciate you. You have a good night.
You too, man. Actually, really great conversation. I actually enjoy this life. I enjoy this life. For all yelling, that kid got like fucking bodied. I'm glad the callers, like even more independent one, seemed to understand my points and like disagree with the other guy. YouTube chat was being really dumb and wasn't making any good points. So, I feel good. I feel really confident in that debate. First of all, like I fucking bodied that kid. I mean, 18-year-old. Wink, wink, wink. Actually, why am I fucking bragging? You know what? calm down, okay? Great. Scratch's ego is a little bit too big right now. We're gonna dial it back. As expected, I bodied the 18-year-old Wink Wink and Cap. I enjoy it, which is gonna be good content to post. And I enjoyed my debate, or at least my conversation with the viewer. It's nice to know there's like people who, if it gives me like reinforcement that like when I talk, it's not just like a bunch of, there's not just, everyone isn't just like a regarded fucking mega in chat like spewing the same bullshit without actually making a point.
Huh? Did you just say you're gonna be in a live in 30 minutes?
So I think I'm gonna end the live in 30 minutes.
30? How about now? I'm trying to sleep.